A flight can look cheap right up until the moment you try to bring a suitcase. That is the real trick in modern air travel. The price that gets your click is often not the price that gets you on the plane the way you actually travel. And once baggage, seat choice, or a carry-on starts costing extra, the cheap fare stops feeling cheap. This is business case signals. For years, Southwest stood out because the fare looked simple and the trip felt simple. No change fees was part of the story, but bags fly free was the part regular travelers could feel immediately. It made the base fare feel more honest because what you saw up front was much closer to what the trip would actually cost. That matters because trust in travel pricing is rare, and Southwest built a lot of its identity around that difference. That changed in 2025. In a March 11th investor release, Southwest said that for flights booked or changed on or after May 28, 2025, most fare products would start paying checked bag fees. By 2026, Southwest's own fare pages showed the new structure clearly. Basic, Choice, and Choice Preferred can face checked bag fees, while Choice Extra still keeps 2 bags free. So the old promise did not disappear for everyone, but it stopped being the default experience. This is why so many flights feel cheap until you actually try to travel like a normal person. The advertised fare gets you into the funnel, but the full trip price appears later, after you have already started imagining the trip as a bargain. A checked bag is not some weird luxury purchase for many people. It is the default for families, longer trips, work travel, and anyone who does not want to game the overhead bins. When something that feels basic gets unbundled, the price gap between promise and reality gets emotionally bigger than the fee itself. The reason Southwest's shift felt loud is because other airlines had already trained customers to expect unbundling. United's own basic economy fare pages openly warn that these fares can mean no free seat selection, no upgrades, and no full-size carry-on bag. So the industry standard had already moved toward a cheap-looking base fare, with more paid decisions layered on top. Southwest was not inventing the model, it was giving up one of the clearest ways it used to look different from it. From the airline side, the logic is cold but clean. A lower headline fare keeps the search result competitive, while bags, seat choice, boarding perks, and loyalty benefits create more ways to raise revenue later. That is also why elite status and co-brand card benefits suddenly matter more. Southwest now keeps 1 or 2 free checked bags alive for higher fare buyers, A-list travelers, and eligible card members. In other words, the bag is no longer just luggage. It becomes a lever that pushes people toward premium bundles and financial products. People do not need a finance degree to notice this because travel pricing is one of the few markets where normal life hits the fee wall instantly. You see the bag. You know if you need it. You know whether you are traveling with kids, equipment, gifts, or a week of clothes. So when an airline says the fare is low but the bag is extra, customers do the subtraction in real time and judge the whole brand through that feeling. That is what makes baggage fees so powerful. They turn strategy into a household annoyance. The bigger lesson is not just that airlines charge more fees now. It is that the fare itself has become a hook, not a full answer. The smartest version of this model is not to make travel cheap. It is to make the first click feel cheap enough that you stay in the funnel. Once you understand that, you stop reading airfare as a price and start reading it as an opening offer. That is why flights feel cheap until you add a bag. The low number is there to win the click. The real money often arrives after you start rebuilding a normal trip from paid pieces. Southwest changing its baggage story matters because it shows how strong that model has become, even for a brand that spent years looking more honest than the pack. So when you book your next flight, what annoys you more? Bag fees, seat fees, or the fact that the first price was never really the price at all?